I wouldn't call them homes as much as um, like poorly structured blocks.
They were set up originally at the beginning by the landlord?
Yeah. Actually, he set them up for workers that work for him in the lands.
One of the families brought in his family when it was relatively quiet in Syria, and to smuggle them in, he paid around $500. 10 days later, the infighting got a lot worse and escalated, and it cost him $5,000 to bring them in.
We've mentioned last time just how cold it gets in the winter in Lebanon. I'm not sure we've shown you much of the snow, but it does come as a surprise to us every time we get into the car and cross the mountain range that separates Beirut and the Bekaa Valley. Every day that passes highlights just how different the Strip is from Brazil. Here, even makeshift homes are a lot more built up, and, well, they have to be, because you'd freeze to death otherwise. On our third day, we're visiting a tiny camp made of 7 families renting the same plot of land from a landlord. Habitat for Humanity Lebanon are helping them get the very basic necessities in their homes, from safe access to electricity, to hot water and toilets. But privately renting is an issue. Private landlords benefit quite a lot from the situation and the severe housing crisis in Lebanon. Rents are simply exorbitant, even for a simple shack. One mother in particular has agreed to tell us her story. But before we get into that, we're quite a big group today. Along with Lubna and a couple of architects, we've also picked up a retired couple who have offered their help to Habitat for Humanity Lebanon. A French engineer, Guy, who used to work for several UN agencies, and his wife Hazel, an Irish nurse who's worked for many NGOs and UN agencies as well.
كان قبل البيت يعني عادي لا له باب اثنين شبابيك عاديات قازان ما بيو خلاط ما بيو كهرباء ما بيو غير كهرباء عادية يعني مو تمديد مو زي
حمام كان فيه؟
حمام فيه بس إنه ما فيه الحمام لا قازان ولا شيء.
One of the interventions is putting doors, bathroom doors.
Yep.
And they usually what they would have is around the frame, they staple blankets, and that's the privacy that you had. So we've installed the doors and the windows.
At first, there was no sanitary works. As far as toward safety and security, there was nothing. There was no main doors. They just blocked it with wooden panels. Our intervention took in 2 main categories: safety and security and sanitation works. As far as safety and security, you can see we installed in every single house a steel door. Inside we applied the plaster at places where we needed to increase the insulation, because sometimes there were only hollow blocks, and you can see the breeze of air when you're inside. If you're standing inside the house, you can see some of the light between the blocks, because the air can come in. If we move on to sanitation works, they only had one thing, a toilet seat, and it was often damaged. So we changed that, installed showers and shower mixers, installed the electric water heaters, and none actually of these houses had access to hot water. There were absolutely no doors to the toilets, no privacy whatsoever.
من وين؟
من ريف حلب.
ومين ولادك؟
ولادي الثلاثة دول.
والاثنين
هذول مربيهم. لأنهم مكبتهم من دحويهم. مثل ولادي. اللي هنا صارنا كم يوم نهارين.
يومين مشي زيادة وكله مشي.
إيه ما بين وصلنا الحدود وقطعنا. كنا متوقعين إن الرياحة قعدة زينة قلنا يعني لما جينا لين من جينا شغل أنا ما قعدت يعني صار لي.
The interest of Habitat for Humanity is that it's a very focused action on a much smaller scale as far as the investment per family or per head is concerned, but very targeted. What I would reproach to the more global UN approach is a very heavy-handed, very administrative, maybe very supportive, but only on a few family. While Habitat for Humanity seems to have the approach of trying to give a limited assistance, but to most of the more needy. And I think that's where we should focus today when we see the situation of the people around us.
The best possible thing for them is to be able to go back to their own village, town, city, wherever it is, and to try to pick up their lives again. But for many of them at the minute it's not going to be possible, because either they will feel threatened, they will perceive there's a threat because they left, they will be seen as traitors, as people who ran away, as people who supported one faction or the other, or what they have to go back to is not what they left behind. Either their houses have been occupied, or they've been completely knocked down, or they've been bombed, or their land isn't there anymore, someone else has taken it.
والله ما أعرف إذا حياتنا هي شيء من أولها هي شيء، ما أعرف والله إنه معقولة ترجع خير هي شيء، ما أدري إنه أول ما عشنا على الحياة من عشنا عليها صعبة، من خلقنا هيك على الدنيا صارت هيك المشاكل وشيء، يعني ما شفنا من حياتنا شيء زين، مرتاحين ما خالص. كان وضعنا احنا فقرة، كنا بسوريا فقرة يعني، مو هالوضع الزين وهالوضع عارفين انت هيك كله فقرة، كلنا هيك يلا بالمعيشة، دوم شغل ودوم نركض يعني.